Hello, I am Chief Frank Straub of the Spokane Police Department. In 2012, the department began presenting quarterly reports to show the kind of work being done by our officers and detectives. We feel it is important that our residents and visitors see how our officers and support personnel are working to keep our streets safe. The following video describes some of the work that we accomplished in the third quarter of this year.
In July, an officer on patrol downtown around 4 a.m. attempted to stop a subject on a bicycle for riding without a helmet or headlight and going the wrong way on a one-way street. The suspect did not stop and attempted to elude the officer on his bike. The officer pursued the suspect on foot through parking lots and alleys while waiting for backup. The suspect eventually crashed his bike and was taken into custody. The juvenile male's backpack was searched and officers discovered numerous burglary tools, a drug scale, heroin, and a loaded .22 semi-automatic handgun. This is an example of your officers recognizing suspicious behavior and acting in order to keep our community safe. Also in July, targeted crimes detectives arrested 6 suspects allegedly involved in a burglary ring responsible for stealing over $150,000 worth of property. The arrests followed an extensive, several-month investigation into a 12-time convicted felon and repeat offender, or rope. Many of the property crimes in Spokane are committed by ropes, and your police department is working to target these offenders and their associates to most efficiently and effectively combat property crimes. Officers responded to a commercial robbery in the 1300 block of South Grand Boulevard, where a clerk and witnesses reported masked men entering a convenience store with handguns. They robbed the location of money before fleeing in a purple minivan. Knowing the suspects had fled to the south and thinking they might hit again, a graveyard patrol officer started checking convenience stores. Moments later, he found the suspect vehicle in front of a gas station and convenience store at 57th and Regal. Money and handguns were visible inside. 2 occupants were arrested and the van was seized for evidence while officers applied for a search warrant. While following the tow truck to the police property facility, officers saw a subject walking down Regal who fit the description of the 3rd occupant of the suspect vehicle. Officers contacted that man and determined he was involved. All 3 were booked into jail for first-degree robbery. At the end of July, major crimes detectives responded to a downtown stabbing where 2 men argued and fought until one stabbed the other several times. The suspect fled before officers arrived. The major crimes investigators were able to make an arrest of the suspect later that same day. An SPD canine officer responded to a commercial burglary in progress around midnight in North Spokane. The officer observed 2 men inside the closed business ransacking the front office before they fled. The officer started a track of the suspects with his canine Duke. Duke quickly located one suspect on the east side of the business. He was stuck hanging upside down from a window by his pants. He was taken into custody without incident. Duke continued tracking for the second suspect, who was found hiding about 3 blocks away. He was taken into custody and made multiple statements on Duke's performance, saying the dog was amazing. Both men were booked for first-degree burglary. In September, major crimes detectives filed charges for second-degree murder regarding the May homicide of Charlotte McGill. Investigators were able to link the suspect to the murder following his assault of a woman on the Centennial Trail the prior week. A citizen responded to the victim's cries for help and was able to chase the suspect into the Spokane River, where he was apprehended by police. Once in custody, major crimes detectives interviewed him and obtained information connecting him to the most recent attack and the McGill homicide. Finally, officers in the Patrol Anti-Crime Team, or PACT, arrested a violent home burglar after a month-long investigation. In early September, patrol officers had responded to a burglary on the South Hill. The 62-year-old victim said a man knocked on her front door, but no one was there when she answered. She then saw the suspect walking out of her dining room carrying her camera. When confronted, he hit her in the head, knocked her to the ground, and struck her repeatedly. The suspect then picked her up and threw her down a long flight of concrete stairs. The victim sustained significant injuries and went to the hospital. Your Spokane Police Department aggressively pursued all possible leads, and packed officers were able to make an arrest. They booked the suspect for first-degree robbery, first-degree burglary, and second-degree assault. This resulted in the arrest of a very violent offender who could have potentially victimized other members of our community.
Through aggressive work by our Special Investigations Unit, Major Crimes, the Patrol Anti-Crime Team, and our Targeted Crimes Unit, our officers are continually working to keep our residents and visitors safe and to protect our quality of life in Spokane. We will continue to keep you informed of our efforts, and I thank you for watching.